You're on, sir. Come on, get it done.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, Simpson Verachin.
God damn it.
Welcome back to Krown's Magical Unicorn Cave.
All right, you almost got it there, but well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a very glorious Wednesday over here, a nice little hump day, but that means absolutely fucking nothing. Time is a meaningless construct. It's a human-made construct now, isn't it? And more importantly, with that, cryptocurrency is 24/7. We never sleep, or at least Bitcoin never sleeps, more importantly. And we have actually plenty to discuss today, as Bitcoin actually did take out the short-term time frame range to the downside, which should initiate our next set of targets to the downside. But what is going on the higher term time frames today is actually of great importance, and one of the things that I do think is going to be a major focus for the next 5 days to come. 5 days starting not today, but after 8 p.m. Eastern time today, that is. Anyways, with that said, I want to welcome you back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Maybe I already did that, but I would like to wish you the best and the happiest, because why the fuck not, man? It's free to do, and it can only help, I do think. Anyways, a few things over here on the Krown application, which we found at app.krownchain.net, and by the way, it is 100% free, and you can find it in the link description below. We do see that the fear and greed index is actually still at 72, so this market is still rather greedy, even though Bitcoin is, well, more or less ranged on the highs right now, and Bitcoin dominance actually below 44% for the first time in a while as well. Now, I want to address something because I've been reading the comments, especially over the last few days here, and it's very fucking interesting. For the people who call this a dip, I want to pose a question to you. What fucking time frame are you on, for the love of God? The reason why I ask is because, look, Bitcoin is trading at a level of about 45,000 bucks, give or take, a couple $1,000 from that. There hasn't really been any major structural changes on the higher term time frames, realistically, for a while now. And if you're looking at the lower term time frames and considering that a $1,000 or even like a $2,000 move is like a major fucking dip, why is Bitcoin crashing on the 5-minute? Understand that Bitcoin can move a lot more than that, and if that is a devastating move to you, get prepared for $5,000, $10,000 dildo days, because it is coming as Bitcoin does consolidate this level for about almost a week now, it looks like. So with that in mind, you can expect a pretty massive resolution, and if it comes to the upside, we're probably looking at 50,000 plus. If it comes to the downside, we're probably looking at low 40s, maybe even upper 30s. With that said, so understand where your risk is, because we have not seen anything that I would remotely call a fucking dip, and I just goddamn hate that term to begin with, for the love of God. It's like, it's a dip, so you hold. No, wait, you buy. No, what do you do? I don't know. Maybe you fucking trade it. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. Let's see what we got going on over here. Global funding rate is actually below parity for what I consider that, right around about 0.0047%. Completely inconsequential, a little bit more on the boo side right there, I would say. And also open interest still kind of trudging along its current highs for this rally as well. I do look at this as still more or less a good thing. Now, if we do start to see open interest start to fall off, with Bitcoin kind of remaining above this $45,000 level, that would be a little bit more concerning for the boo and very likely implied targets to the downside will very likely get met over the next week, a little bit less than a week perhaps. With that in mind, do we see anything else of particular interest right here? Not necessarily, actually. I'm curious what the whale ratio is looking like right now. Nope, still trending down, so that would be good for the boo and hash rate is actually still heading up as well, so that is also good for the boo here too. But what matters most? What do we marked off of? What it matters at the end of the day? The goddamn P&L. So let's go into the actual price action charts right now and see what price is actually fucking doing. And let me just I'm gonna turn off the alerts for right now. I see Mr. King Cosmic. We'll definitely get to SPY. Actually, that's gonna play into the main analysis today, just because traditional markets are actually showing quite significant signs right now. Anyways, okay, so let's follow up on yesterday's short-term time frame analysis. Bitcoin did break our short-term time frame uptrend with that move below 45,500 on this closure right here. Closing price of about actually just right underneath there, it looks like. Yeah, just $100 below there, but you did get the result from that. And now this is similar to what we did look at. This was, I guess, in like April or May of of this year, where basically now that we actually do have a bit of a reversal on the short-term time frames, it is time to be looking for, or at least on lower high watch for the lower term time frames. So where's our last high within the context of this current price action? That'd be right here, right around about 40. Well, you could say about 47,000 bucks on a wick basis, 46,850 on a 4-hour dildo closing basis. That means that Bitcoin very likely to bounce off this level right here. Whether bullish or bearish, Bitcoin extremely likely to bounce back up, probably somewhere around 46,000 bucks. But any sort of weakness and anything resembling a lower high, even on the short-term time frames like a 4-hour, below this 46,800, let's just call it 47,000 bucks, easier to say, 47,000 bucks, there we go, is a lower high, and then we actually would have a confirmed reversal in this case. Now, with that said, we do have a few other things to be aware of right here. Could there be a bit of a trap situation within this case right here as well? Yes, there could be. A volume signature would say that this is a little bit less likely in this case. However, I do suspect that it is wise to speak about anyways, because we see something a little bit different on CME. CME has not broken the uptrend actually. CME is continuing with the short-term time frame uptrend. So what do I default to in these situations? I default to CME in these situations, as it typically is going to get things better more often than not than spot price action. I've done a study on this, and I believe it's more than 80%, but I'll need to reference that at some point as well, because it changes with different time frames, obviously, and it actually changes upon the different times of the week as well. Earlier in the week, definitely better. After like the midpoint of the week, it's pretty much the same. But looking at this right here, you know, CME did not enter into a downtrend. Yes, we do have a bit of a lower high, but we do have higher lows still, and that is being protected by the 55 right now, which is 44,500-ish region. And again, whether you're bullish or bearish, I do suspect that Bitcoin will bounce back up here, somewhere around about $46,000, maybe a little bit higher, maybe right around that pin. But overall, we have to be aware now. If Bitcoin does start to put in lower highs on short-term timeframes, we will have a confirmed reversal, and it'll be like shorting Bitcoin, or at least looking at Bitcoin at this area over here back in May, when Bitcoin put in this lower high after first putting in that lower low after of course $65,000 all-time high. So it is a little bit, it is a little bit on edge right here. But of course, CME, again, I do look at it as kind of like the gold standard right here, but spot price action kind of does also have that in place. So I think that it is of relevance right now, even though they are bifurcated from each other. Anyways, going back down into the short-term timeframes, we do have hidden bullish divergence right here on the 4-hour RSI. And if we go over to our momentum oscillators on the short-term timeframes as well, this is going to be spot, and I'm just curious if spot and CME are lining up. They should be. Yes, and actually no, they're not. CME a little bit higher in this case. 46,500 would be 4-hour Stokes, actually twisting back up to the upside, and spot price action would be around $46,000 as well. So I do believe that Bitcoin very likely is to test that region. If we do start to close above that region, we will see momentum oscillators start to turn up as well, and that could help out the Bulas for a bit of a trap situation right now. If we do go over here to CME, I'm just curious, what do we have a potential trap situation on our hands? Well, again, we don't even have a lower low here to begin with, and volume signature would be indicative that again, we just don't even have a lower low. So no, there's no trap available. It's just still an uptrend, to be fair. So with that in mind, I am a little bit split right here, and this is what does make trading a little bit more difficult. But at the end of the day, like I said, if I am trading this, which I actually am myself, I would be looking at CME as where the buck stops in this case, and I would be looking for a bounce right here, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, somewhere around $46,000. If we start to close above $46,000 and then turn short-term time from momentum oscillators back onto the upside, I would be looking for a drive probably back around about 47 to 47.5 region, and another $1,000 to $1,500. Again, this is all ranging activity for what it's worth right now. We haven't really seen like a dip or a massive pump or anything like that. The thing that I'd be very cognizant of, however, is going to be this, the 5-day chart, kind of reference to what we spoke about at the beginning of this stream right here, of which we have essentially just gotten a backfill on last 5-day open. So again, another thing kind of suggestive of very likely a bounce within this region. And then more importantly, this is closing tonight. So that does imply that if Bitcoin actually does start to take out the current 5-day high, not today, but after this one's actually solidified in stone, the target is not going to be $50,000 to the upside any longer. I mean, it would be a short-term target, yes, and I would be looking for a short-term pullback right there as well, yes, but I would not be looking for I would not be looking for a major high right there. I would extend targets all the way up to about $55,000 to $56,000, extremely likely after that, and Bitcoin would look pretty damn good. However, on the same side, depending upon how we close today, because it's still a long day left to go, to be fair, about 18 hours, 40 minutes, and 48 seconds. If Bitcoin were to close something like this and then take out the low side of this current 5-day dillo, that would be my next sort of actionable sort of thing for looking for in the next 5 days, a move down somewhere around about basically around $42,000, wherever the 21 is on the daily, which I suspect is somewhere around there. Actually, let me just go reference this on CME and see where it is on spot. CME is $42,000. That's pretty much where I'm looking, also in line with this high right here. Spot's a little bit higher than that, actually 43 and some odd change, but in this case, CME a little bit more obvious in this case as well. All major moving averages still bullish right here, and BBWP is actually still contracting within this current consolidation. So that does also suggest that this very well could actually be a bit of a trap on spot price action, and CME is going to be the one to be going with. And then also of importance, we do see potential major hidden bullish divergence being constructed right here. Now, it is very much unconfirmed as of right now, and will not be confirmed today. This would be something to be looking for very likely, or it would only be available like as soon as tomorrow, basically, unless we get like some sort of massive bullish engulfing dildo today, which I think is rather unlikely. But hey, I guess weirder things have happened. However, what we need to see is we need to see a confirmed local low. If that were to happen, we'd be looking at this local low right here and this local low right here, and we'd have hidden bullish divergence, basically on a very, very slightly higher low on the daily in this case. I wouldn't necessarily even consider this one like a major low. This is really like the last major low in my opinion, but overall, with that in mind, you really can see that there's major opportunities on both sides right now. And again, whether you're bullish or bearish, I really do stand by this. Bitcoin very likely does trade back up somewhere around $46,000. The question is, do we start to close lower term timeframes above there? Now let's go into the medium and higher term timeframes and see where their sort of momentum starts to turn around as well. Let's go over into the 12-hour right here. 12-hour is down as long as you're below $47,000. That's actually of interest right here as well, because if we do come back up and start to trade back above $47,000, especially close above there, well, Bitcoin would essentially be breaking the last little breakdown point, and that would be, essentially confirmed as a resolution point for another upside move. If you're looking at the 6-hour right here, that is your lower high, as is your short-term timeframes like the 4-hour, 2-hour, and hourly as well. So if that were to happen, I would feel quite comfortable in saying that Bitcoin's going to start to float its upside, and probably over the next 5 days, we actually do see a move above $50,000. However, again, it's a long day left to go, and if we go back on over here, let's see what the daily is as well. That's actually at 47.3 or basically 47,400 or so. So with that in mind, basically both the 12-hour and daily are on the same side right there. If Bitcoin starts to close above this region, again, this last little local high right here, then I would be, even on the short-term time frames that is, I would be looking for that move to, again, trade sideways and up from this range into and above $50,000. But as long as Bitcoin's below there, we do have to be on watch for lower highs, even on even on the short-term timeframes. And if we do see weakness around this region, then that is going to be the sort of initial confirming factor that Bitcoin is going to trade down, and we will see a move down somewhere around about 42, maybe $43,000, somewhere around there. And I would be cognizant that that would still be actually pretty damn good actually for Bitcoin, at the very goddamn least a bounce around there, and preferably and very, very likely a higher low at the same time as well. I'm curious, do we have a 2-day, or we do have a 2-day closing type, but not a 3-day, so that is unhelpful here. Do we see anything of interest that could be populating itself on the 2-day momentum oscillators? No, not really. 2-day Joule did lose its upside curvature, so a bit of sideways is to be expected from that. Same thing with daily. Actually, this one even got a downside signal, but not really like a humongous move right there, to be fair, although it did call it right here. Let's actually just measure that one out. I'm curious to see how much this one's gotten. Yeah, about an 8% move. So when you are looking for something like that, you're looking for more realistically. So I do suspect that this is still a bit questionable both ways. And I just want to kind of address another situation as well, because I was reading a lot of the comments before this video while I was not doing my own dumps myself, and understand that there's a lot of YouTubers out there. There's a lot of people who will essentially make their careers not necessarily on, or I don't know if they make it on trading or not, but I suspect that if they have like a million fucking referral links in their bio, that may be a little bit questionable. But hey, you be the judge of that. I don't need to say any more. But people make their careers on not necessarily being like a good analyst or not, or a good trader or not. What they make their careers on is they tap into what I believe someone like Ben Shapiro taps into. They're singing a song, and their song is either always moon or always doom. Some people are always fucking bearish. Some people are always fucking bullish, no matter what the data is in front of the charts. The realistic thing is that more often than not in trading, more than 70% of the time, somewhere between about 70 and 80% of the time, things are consolidating. And when things are consolidating, what does that mean? It means that they're not fucking trending. If they're not goddamn trending, then what is the best thing to be doing? What is the most profitable thing to be doing as a trader is to be trading the ranges, or at least that's really the only opportunity that you have. If you're a fucking breakout trader, you get wrecked. If you're a trend trader, you also get wrecked as well, right? So my point is that understand that when people are talking about that all the fucking time, it just kind of shows that they probably don't really understand, or they probably don't actually trade, or at least I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this, because who the fuck knows? I mean, it's not really my place to say, but it's just something that you probably noticed as well. This is, for all that it's worth, a sideways range right here. We spent about 3 months in a sideways range over here as well. Yes, the range was rather large, but the breakout trades above $40,000 and the breakdown trades below $30,000 were all failures. You would have been absolutely fucking wrapped up in them. And it wasn't until late July, early August when it actually did break out. And what did we say as soon as we got into this range? Back in middle of May, I guess it was, like, look, if you're looking for the big breakout or big breakdown, it's probably not going to happen until like end of summer. You're probably best off, if you are a breakout trader, just coming back in probably September or August. And that looks to have been true thus far. So for right now, we are still within a bit of a, we are still within about, what's the word that I'm looking for? A consolidation phase right here, no matter which time frame that you look at. But there are starting to be etchings of a bit of weakness right here. So I do suspect, or at least I do look at this as starting to be a lot more relevant for the short and medium term timeframes, and that can obviously roll over into the higher term timeframes. So again, this next 24 hours is going to be pretty damn important, at least in my opinion. But is there anything else that we want to get on with right now before we get into some comments? And perhaps this video might even be a little bit more on the shorter side for what it's worth. Anyways, kind of like the main points right here. Again, short-term timeframes very likely do bounce back up, but any sort of a failure to get back above about 47,000 bucks on a 4-hour closing basis, probably within this next day, maybe day and a half, is going to be confirmed. It is going to be considered a lower high, and we will very likely roll over and see somewhere around 42,000 bucks on a wick, maybe 43 on a closure, something like that would probably be about right. And that would very likely be a bounce area as well. I wouldn't necessarily call this like a macro a macro reversal in this case. In fact, I'm very much not necessarily on that side right now, as referenced in my last long-term analysis video, with reasons given there. And as always, there needs to be some sort of invalidation points as well for when that is not going to be, very, very likely. And what would that be? Below 33,000 bucks. This market is, well, we don't need to say it right now because we're pretty fucking far away. But again, understand, if you are looking at, these moves within this range right here is like major pumps and big dips. We got to fucking guys, why is Bitcoin crashing? I need to know why Bitcoin's crashing right now. Is this a trap? No, it's a fucking consolidation. And understand, this asset can move 10,000 bucks and barely sneeze, or I mean, that is a sneeze for Bitcoin, certainly, but it can move 10,000 bucks. And to the, if that happened to the downside, we'd actually just be getting a downturn right here. That is your last major daily low at about 38,000 bucks into the upside. I actually would be looking for a $10,000 move from this price point if Bitcoin does resolve to the upside, but I'm very much undecided right now. We know the resolution points, we know what to be looking for, and there are several points of confluence, especially on momentum oscillators, that are suggestive of that. Anyways, again, what's going on over there? What the fuck? The moon is a boob? Wait, really? Oh, that's awesome, man. All right. Okay, cool. Jeff says reality check is never a bad thing. Thanks, Monsieur Krown. How do I say? Merci, mon ami. There we go. My French, my French classes from high school really playing into that one. Anyways, I think we could. Oh yes, let's go check out traditional marks. So I do want to address King Cosmic here. Because traditional marks are going to play into this analysis as well. Do we see weakness in traditional marks right here? Yes, we do actually. Is it the same on the shorter term timeframes? No, not necessarily. Or at least it's kind of similar to Bitcoin, right? We do have a lower low here. Yes. So now we have to be on lower high watch. Where's our last high? Well, this one kind of a little bit more difficult, but that would be somewhere around about 44,665 actually. We don't really even have, we don't really have good structure right here, to be fair. Maybe go to a 2 hour and see if it's any more obvious. Maybe in a 30 minutes in this case. And yes, lower term timeframes for traditional markets are actually a lot more viable, at least in my experience, than Bitcoin land. But yeah, looking at this right here, any sort of a lower high below about 44.65, I would say, is going to be a lower high, and actually would be looking for a bit of a pullback on your daily time frame. So that will play into a greater pullback, very likely, maybe over the next few weeks here, down to just below 4,400 or so. Not so much of a pullback right there. Make no mistake about it. I'm not calling it macro reversal. I do think that this market will have a pretty massive correction, probably at least 10%, but probably somewhere around 15 to 20%. But I do think it's going to take some time. I do think it's more likely to happen around like October, November, maybe even in December. But typically speaking, cyclically speaking, for traditional markets, October just kind of is that month for whatever it's worth. Maybe it's the fucking moon's at it once again. Who knows? But let's go see what Nasdaq is looking like as well. Yeah, not as strong or a little bit weaker actually in comparison to SPY. But you got the same sort of structure here as well. A bit of a lower low right there, which is concerning. Yes. However, again, short term very likely does bounce back up. Wouldn't be surprised to see a move up somewhere around 1575 or so, but any sort of a lower high in this case on a 4 hour would be below 15130 is going to be a little bit damning, at least for the short and medium term time frames. And I probably would be looking for this one to roll over if that were to happen somewhere down around about 14,800, maybe even as much as 14,700 or so in the next like week or two. But for right now, again, give it a chance. I mean, you can do whatever you want, obviously, but if I was trading this, I would give it a chance, and I want to see an actual confirmed reversal before I get get too gung-ho bearish about something like this, which is just not wise in my experience after looking at something like this. I mean, the monthly is still nothing resembling bearish at the current moment in time. Same thing with SPY futures as well. Pretty fucking good still. So I'd still be leaning on the macro upside. So just very likely be a higher low again at first pass. Ridiculous chart, yes, and again, at some point it's going to go for a 20% correction, but I suspect that we probably have another, I don't know, probably at least another month or two of at least grinding at the highs, even if it does top out somewhere around there. Dow Jones, more or less the same chart as well as actually SPY futures in this case. Looking at the daily right here, or sorry, looking at the short-term time frame, same thing as well. We did get that lower low. We don't have a lower high just yet, but anywhere below about 35,400 or so would be that. So going back on to SPY right here, where would I be looking for this one to pop back up to short-term? Maybe, let's go to a 4-hour really quickly. Probably looking for it around 44.55 or so. If we start to close 4-hour dildos above there, I would say that this is going to be a bit of a trap situation right here, similar to Bitcoin. But for right now, do have to be a bit cognizant of those, of those factors within the market, because this is starting to show a little bit of weakness for the first time in a while now. Hey, what's going on over there? You haven't? Holy shit! Elsa got an offer for her NFT. What? What the fuck? What did they offer? What the fuck? 7? Let me see this. Hold on. What the fuck? Elsa has become an artist now, but I just need to check this. Hold on. Okay. It's a $7. $7. Well, fair enough. You got to start somewhere. Anyways, looks like Bitcoin is starting to initiate the short-term move that we did speak about at the beginning of the stream right here. Let's see, what else can we find in the higher-term timeframes, however? Let's see, we haven't really gone over the 2-day in a while now. 2-day is going to be closing tonight, and it will actually cross 2-day Stokes to the downside below 47,000 bucks. Again, I do think Bitcoin very likely test somewhere around 46, and if the lower-term timeframes play into that next move with a closure above there, then I actually would be looking for 47, but for right now, it is a bit more pressure on. 3-day is going to show 44,150, and then the 5-day, which is also closing tonight, is going to be this one's okay. Barring a $12,000 dump, I think it's a little bit less likely to happen. Always possible, but is it probable? I'd say probably a little bit less so. 33,000 bucks on this one, so probably not happening today if it is going to happen, although that number will naturally pop up significantly on this next closure anyways. So with that in mind, I think it's time for me to get on to the comments right here. Let's see what we got going on today. I think it's going to be a very interesting day, and this is going to be, if things actually do start to chop around here and show some weakness, this is going to be fun because because this market's been quite generous as of recent times. You haven't really had to do all that much, and it might be time to actually be a fucking real trader once again. Anyways, let me pop up over here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got King Cosmic. You just to beat Scott. You got it, baby. You fucking did it, baby. You fucking did it. Legend Ali Z's is back with it. Apple Daily Weekly Breakout Reel, or just toying with my heart. We looked at this one yesterday. I believe the breakout is very real. Let's just go check it out. See, how did this one hold up during the overall dumbola? Completely fine, man. Another higher low on the hourly is all good in the hood as far as I'm concerned. Daily close on an actual continuation there too. New all-time highs on the daily closure, or sorry, no, this was your daily closure. This to me is just a retest of the breakout until proven otherwise, and a very easy one to manage at that as well, Mr. Legend Ali. As long as you're above yesterday's spike low, which is 149, I'm looking for this one to trade sideways and up. This is a very mature consolidation, and this one's ready, man. We did look at this one yesterday. That first target on this one, long term over the next, I don't know, 3 to 4 months, I'd be looking somewhere around like 160 to 170 or so. This is good, man. Very good actually. So not bad, Apple. Anyways, and again, know where your risk is. Know where your fucking risk is, and change your opinion when that changes as well, or at least, perhaps consider that. You're of course free to do whatever you want to do. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Rebeldia 33 says, how are you, Krown? Whoa, nice. Holy shit, man. You are absolutely fucking jacked, man. How do you even get like that? That is insane. How are you, Krown? I'm doing all right, man. How are you doing, sir? Auto USD on the 4-hour, 1-day, and 3-day, please. Okay, very interesting. People usually don't ask about the 3-day. The 3-day is pretty good time frame. Check it out over here. Okay, so you're looking at, what was it, 4-hour daily, or let me just double check. 4-hour daily, 3-day. Okay, got it. Daily, do we still have higher lows right here? Just fucking barely. This one probably pops back up and tests around 1120 or so. I'm curious what the, okay, that was a 4. Oh shit, this is, this is something I would avoid like the fucking plague, man. Okay, look. technically speaking, I should be looking for a bounce here, and it probably does bounce around here. It probably does bounce up somewhere around that 4-hour target that I just spoke about. However, the second that this thing goes below today's daily low, which is 1027 spot 7676, actually, kind of a nice number right there, this whole rally is going to fall apart, and you're going to see a move over the next couple weeks down to about 860, very, very likely. This would be another lower high actually on the daily as well. This thing has not even reversed. This is a very, 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 very weak piece of shit, and just be aware, sir. 3-day does not look good. 3-day looks like absolute shit. I imagine we have hidden bearish divergence, and we do have hidden bearish divergence potential. Not going to be confirmed today, but as soon as tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time with any sort of a closure here or lower. Buy daily will be confirming that today with any sort of a closure here or lower, however. And that would make me look towards move towards about 850 or so. And cough up the majority of this rally, and that is not a good sign. I mean, we'd expect to see most of this market looking decently well if we are going to see most of this market push through here. Definitely possible, but this one's certainly not going to be the one to lead the party for what it's worth. Anyways, hopefully that was in some way helpful. And again, hey, I'm just talking about shitty charts right there, not you. You're obviously a fucking Adonis, man. So nice. Anyways, blockchain barber, what's up, sir? Hello, sir. Hey, man, appreciate that. Especially when they're random. Yeah, man. Sometimes I go on a bit of a random rant there. It's definitely a signal that I have internal issues in my own fucking brain, man. So look at all my neuroses on display here. And Elsa the elf, of course. Elsa the elf. I call her the forest fairy is what I call her. I call her the forest nymph in the mermaid. FTT US. Okay, so we got what is this? FTX token. This would be a good one to actually record here. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna record this one. Oh god, I really want to ask a question. So yesterday I uploaded like extremely short analyses of some like more popular shitcoins like Matic and like Cardano and all that good stuff. Do you guys like that, or do you like that, or do you not like that? Because it's very easy for me to do, but I'm curious if it's just a waste of time or if people like want that or not. Because like I said, it's very easy for me to do. In fact, I'll record this one right here as well because it's rather popular. But you're looking at an 8-hour and daily and monthly actually. Not sure how much we're going to get on a monthly for this one, but yeah, we can do that. Okay, getting a lot of yeses. All right, excellent. Sweet. Thank you for that, Barry. Thank you for that, Justin. Thank you for that, Michael. Thank you for that, Jack. Awesome. That's very cool. Gohan's mom, fuck yeah. Thinking outside the grid, excellent. Okay, and Michael T, fuck yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, guys. I do appreciate that feedback. It actually really does help. Okay, so I'm gonna record this one as well. Let me just double check what the timeframes are. All right, here we go. Quick little analysis on Ftx Token, the old, well, I guess FTX's token. Anyways, this one's from Blockchain Barber, so credit to him. He's asking for an 8-hour daily and monthly. I'm not sure what we're going to get on the monthly here. Daily, obviously, bouncing off the daily 21. And this one actually is very interesting here because where is your last daily high or low? I mean, this one's just basically been in a continuous phase. For all that it's worth. If you even want to be super aggressive with it, you'd say 43.75 or so. And in that case, we'd very obviously have potential hidden bullish divergence if it does confirm a higher low right here. But that is not going to be happening today. It could at earliest happen tomorrow, unless if we do get some sort of closure above yesterday's high, which I think is maybe a little bit unlikely. But let's say we close something like this today and then pop up and close above about $48 tomorrow. That would be indicative and confirm hidden bullish divergence. And I'll be looking at a run towards another run towards the highs, and very likely a new high on this rally. Very likely breakout to your, actually in this case, maybe even your all-time highs, about $61 or so. Very good right now. By the way, just as an aside, fucking Sam Bankman-Fried. SBF, that guy, SBF, he seems like a pretty damn good guy. He actually live tweeted the bottom on this, like credit to him, that's awesome. Anyways, okay, so let's go down to the lower term timeframes right here. I know you didn't necessarily ask for it, but I do want to see where we're at within the grand scheme of things. Okay, 4-hour, very likely short term to pop back up, somewhere around about 47.80 or so, but I would need to see a closure above about 48.50 in order for this one to essentially reclaim the range in this case. I'm curious what it looks like on short term time frame momentum oscillators over here. Let's double check. Kind of throws me off that it's symbol FTT, but it's actually FTX. Anyways, 4-hour, what are we looking at? We actually will see 4-hour Stokes turn to the upside with any sort of a closure above 46.42 in this case, which we are actually right around right now. And I do believe that you probably will get that. Short-term timeframes do want to bounce right here. It looks like daily, however, a little bit on the other side, 51.8275 is the magical number on that. That actually would be above your current high. So that is good. We do see structure plus momentum, meaning that if if Ftx token closes above this region, we would be expecting this one to actually break out as it does close on new highs on this rally. And then momentum turns up once again on a powerful time frame. And I think you also asked about you asked about an 8-hour. Apologies on that one. I actually deleted my 8-hour time frame. I don't really find it that useful. I find the 6-hour actually rather useful. Looking at the 8-hour right here, 50.10 would be the magical number on this one. Still maintaining the uptrend as well. Here's your last higher low. In fact, this one actually even might be a little bit more easy to analyze from a momentum velocity perspective over here. Let's just double check. Yep, we do have potential hidden bullish evidence going to be confirmed with any sort of a closure here or higher in the next 2 hours, 19 minutes and 41 seconds. So anywhere here or higher would look good, and that will imply targets back up around $49, maybe even as much as $50, and then they can lead into the higher term timeframes like we just looked at on the daily to potentially drive targets higher. But for what it's worth right now, this does look good actually in comparison to a lot of the other charts that we've seen. Monthly is not too helpful on this one. It's very obviously an uptrend in this case. You did sell off on the retest of your prior all-time high on a closing basis. That is to be expected. So I don't really look at that as like a massive macro rejection. No, I wouldn't necessarily get bearish on this one. I really wouldn't get bearish on this one as long as you're especially above like $40. I just don't see, just not wise in my opinion. This one actually one of the more strong coins that we've seen certainly today. So keep in mind where the risk is, but below about 40. Or what did I say, 40 or 41, whatever it was, somewhere right around there, I would start to look for a deeper retracement down to about 36 or so, somewhere around there, and very likely a bounce. But for right now, this one actually holding it up a lot better compared to most things within this market, and hopefully that was helpful, sir. There you go. All right, cool. Jarl Koshoi. Sorry, man. I don't mean to butcher your last name. I'm just a fucking American, and we don't learn language. Doggy Coin Daily wanting to buy at the daily 21 EMA, then to the moon. I'm just reading the comments here. Look, oh, come on. Doggy Coin, can you please fail? But it's probably not going to fail. You're looking to buy the 21. This would be considered your test to the 21. If this thing does come back down to the 21, it's not going to hold there, or it's very unlikely to hold there in this case. You'd probably see a move down to your last low in this case at around 24 cent. But for right now, if this market is going to continue on from here, you're essentially betting on that we're basically all the majors going to set in higher lows on your medium and higher term timeframes, basically where it's at right now. If you're looking at the short-term timeframes, very, very similar to a lot of the other ones that we looked at. Would be looking at a short-term move to about 31 cent, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. But anywhere below today's low, and I would be looking for a deeper retracement, like I said, somewhere around about 24 cents, and very likely a bounce there. That is not going to necessarily imply long-term health, though, I would say. So keep that in mind. But is this one going to go to the moon? I don't know. Let's look at the weekly again. Again, it makes it very difficult to be bearish on this when you look at the weekly. It's not going to break out this week, very, very likely, but maybe next week could be okay. Monthly still okay as well, to be fair. And maybe we go to the 5 days as that one's closing tonight. That's the only one that's looking like a little bit of rejection right there. But again, just selling off of your breakdown levels from early June is to be expected. So a little bit too early to analyze this one, especially with 18 hours left to go. Short-term bouncy bounce. After that, I don't necessarily think that your daily 21 would be the best. I mean, this would be essentially a front run of that. If it loses that level, it's very likely to go lower is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, let's see. Captain Crunch says, I am no longer a virgin. What? Really? How did you do that? So I'm looking at oh, you did the doggy coins to finance my new Playboy lifestyle. Can you check out the daily weekly for me? Actually, we pretty much just did. So I suppose that answers that question, hopefully. But yeah, I'm going back to the daily right here. I'm not a human. This one's sloppy, to be honest. But as far as the weekly goes, I wouldn't be looking for any sort of like major move to the upside this week. If it is going to happen, it'd very likely be next week, not this week. Same thing to the downside as well. I don't think that this one like cracks below 24 cents this week. If it is going to happen, it probably happens next week, and then targets are going to be down to like 18 cents. But still, I would have a little bit more of a bullish bias on this, as I have been having on Bitcoin, even though we've mostly been just trading sideways. Al Sadar Bari says, Cardano 4-hour daily, please. Sure. Let's check this one out. Where is my Cardurpio? There we go. Speaking with Jason Pizzino earlier this morning, he's like, why do you call Cardano Cardano? It's Cardano. And he's like spelling it out from like Carderpio. How about that? And let's just fucking change up its name. The old Carderps. Again, one of the best charts in cryptocurrency land right now, or among the best charts in cryptocurrency land. Consolidating around your prior all-time highs is like not necessarily bearish, I'd say. But let's see, what time frame are you looking at? You're looking at a 4-hour and daily. 4-hour, we do still have higher lows being worked on right here between this area and this area. And do we have hidden bullish evidence possible here? Yes, although the look back period on my particular indicator right here is going to be a little bit too shallow to pick this one up, but you technically could look at that as at least short-term playable, very likely with a move somewhere around about 208, maybe even as much as 210. But I need to see a closure above that what is this right here, about 210 on a 4-hour time frame in order for me to look for another retest of the highs of this rally at about 220, 221 region. Daily, a little bit different. Again, I don't think it's going to be doing anything like too interesting today, if it is going to do anything interesting at all. But if you do break the downside, in this case, where would your downside resolution be? Basically, any sort of a closure below 192 or a wick lower than this 4-hour low, which is slightly lower than that, about 187. In fact, this was our target from yesterday, I do believe, on a downside resolution, which we got for the short-term timeframes. If that would happen, I'd look for a move down about 170, 171 region. But right now, sideways and up is what I'd be looking for. The weekly is still obviously bullish. I don't have anything bearish to say about the weekly right here. In fact, this is probably the one that's maybe most likely to make new all-time highs within the next 7 to 14 days. I mean, it's pretty fucking good right there. 5-day, this one gonna have a pretty phenomenal closure, barring like a massive downturn below 170. Looks good, man. Still one of the best charts, or among the best charts in cryptocurrency land. Let me take another sip of this water over here. I am damn thirsty right now. Crypto Conan says, "Leave a like, you slackers." Well, if you want to like, if you want to like the video, like the video. It does actually quite help. I've consulted with some YouTube gurus, and apparently liking the video actually really does help. But hey, maybe we just keep this goddamn cave a secret, huh? Anyways, Ash Roberts says, "XELA for our daily, please." Is this a Scott Carney shitcoin? XE, yeah, it is. Oh, it is on NAS. Breaking down. No, not again. Did sell off the top side of that range, it looks like. Let's see, do we have a chart in mind here? Yeah, it looks like we just got front ran from that region, or just more or less consolidating right here. Short term down. What time frame are you looking at, sir? 4-hour daily down. I'd be looking for a move short term to about 205, 207 region, very likely a bounce there. Full hour, same thing, but I would be looking for a bounce there. I do think the bounce very likely will fail, and you will come down somewhere around the low side of your range, perhaps around about 150 to 160 over time. Not happening today, not happening tomorrow, but maybe over the next like month or so, somewhere down around there, and look for a bounce. If it fails to bounce there, then you got big problems. But at least for right now, I mean, what is the obsession with these fucking shitty charts? What is the obsession with these shitty charts? Fair enough, know where your risk is, I suppose. Perhaps you got some insider information. If you do, nice. There you go. It's also illegal, so maybe you don't do that. Anyways, Jack asked me, what's up, man? Sol BTC, short, medium, and long term. Sure. Okay. Got Selena over here on. You like the Bitcoin pairs, don't you? Short, medium, and long term. Okay, so let's. Should we record this one? Solana BTC requested by Mr. Jack Asselman. We're looking at short, medium, and long term. This is, by the way, the Bitcoin pairing, not the US dollar pairing. We'd have to check out that one. Perhaps we even look at a little bit of that one as well. Very obviously fucking bullish, actually. Pretty damn good right here. 4-hour confirming yet again another higher low, and I would be looking at another test around your prior time high at about 161, 600 satoshis in this case. Daily is just continuation after a lovely 3-month long consolidation from middle of May to basically where we're at right now in middle of August. So very good right there, very constructive long-term uptrend. And I would be looking at daily BBWP right here to kind of judge when this one does put in a bit of a a bit of a high on this next rally attempt, or basically next continuation attempt. I want to see this get about 100 percentile, and probably even stay there for a few days as well. And then I'd be looking and be cognizant of, any sort of weakness on, maybe a shorter term time from like a 4 hour to kind of judge if this one is gonna, if it is gonna pull back relatively soon. But I don't think you're there just yet. It's still looking pretty damn good. Daily Jewel still has upside posturing, can go for a little bit more here too. It is getting extended, yes, but I think you got at least another, at least another move or two. Weekly is just continuation again here. We do have higher, we basically had an ascending triangle right here. We could obviously make a measure move on this one. I'm just curious where it would kind of come in around. I guess it's going to be around our current high right here. So nice, not bad. Long term on this one, I would be looking for continuation somewhere around about 200,000 Satoshi, give or take a little bit from there. It's pretty damn good. Weekly hidden bullish evidence right here, back in the bullish control zone, looking very, very healthy right there. And weekly Jewel has actually lost its downside curvature. Might even get some upside in that case too. And again, daily is just continuation. This is looking very, very good. Bullish as long as you're essentially above 135,000 Satoshis. Actually, look at the US dollar pairing as well. I think that this might be of interest, if it's doing about the same thing. And it is. It's actually a very, very similar chart in this case. So same sort of areas kind of apply right here, just different numbers. $59 to the downside would be my bias buster for this. Until then, it's just continuation as far as I'm concerned. You already sold off at the 1 spot 414. You came down to the 272 in this case. Good. I would be looking for the next move to the upside to very likely break that area and make its way towards, $120, maybe even as much as 150. Not today, not tomorrow, but maybe over the next like month or so, or two, or whatever it ends up being. It's one of the best charts in cryptocurrency land right now. It's certainly among the best charts. Very fucking good. Same setup on momentum also it is over here. I'm curious what it looks like actually on a momentum charts. In fact, or actually no, this would be a good time to be looking at the trending charts right here and see how it's operating right now. Yeah, very fucking good on the daily. As long as you're trading above the top side trend band, I look at this as volatility expansion, very likely to print new all-time highs alongside that. And that is currently coming in around 63.85, it looks like. So very good. Very, very good. Perhaps one of the best charts we've seen today in cryptocurrency land. Nicely done, Solana. All right, nice one. We just got that one done as well. Sweet. BK says, Sir, GHST, BUSD on 4 hour daily weekly. Let's check it out. So it is very interesting for me now to see like some of the to see some of the more strong altcoins looking very, very good. Ghost or GHST, whatever the fuck this thing is, still operating at higher lows right here. I'd be expecting a bounce from exactly where you're at actually right now. Out right here. I want to see it on this chart as well. Yeah, I'd actually be looking at this one still good, but short term, we trade a little bit of short-term downside. Perhaps yes. You still got higher lows as long as you're above about 185.5 or so. You can come down a little bit more, no problem. It's not too debilitating in this case. I'd actually even be looking for a little bit of short-term continuation of the downside, like 197, 196 region. Very likely a bounce there, and then I'd look for this one to trade a bit of sideways, and then maybe try another upside move. Perhaps a little bit later this month or so. I'd only really get a little bit bearish on this one if this one did crack back down below that 187. I think it was 187 level. As long as you're kind of above there, this is still in the most pleasurable sense a nice little uptrend. Although should be known, you have a pretty damn good sell signal right there. So where does this become actionable? Basically below about 187 actually. And then you could target a big move, a very big move to the downside down to about 157.5. But for right now, it's still operating relatively well. And I do like the higher term timeframes here, especially. Let's see what the 5-day looks like. Yeah, more or less fine here too. Nice. All right. Mr. RM. Hello, sir. Hello. Said it as well. Hello, sir. It's like you read my fucking mind. Atom USD, 4 hour daily and monthly. Okay, this one used to be pretty damn popular, right? This is a 2017 shitcoin, Cosmos. Let's see how this one's survived. Oh, I guess we don't have the history from back then. That's unfortunate. I need to know if it actually made new highs above its prior all-time highs. Anyways, you're looking at 4 hour daily and monthly. Okay, let's go to the daily, see what this one's looking like. Sloppy as all fuck. Definitely a laggard in this market. Definitely a relatively weak coin. But you do have a pretty easy way to play it actually in this case. You have a one massive long-legged Joji Diddle that closed yesterday, 17th of August. Anywhere above there, I'd actually look for a pretty nice run in this case. And when I say pretty nice run, I mean somewhere around about 21 to 23 bucks, perhaps over the next few weeks. By the same token, anywhere below yesterday's low, and I'd look for this one to fall much further to the downside, somewhere around about 13 to 12.5 bucks over time. This one does look a little more poised for the upside though, and it does look a little bit, it looks sloppy as all fuck in the short-term time frames. Actually, if anything, short-term time frames very obviously bearish right here. Insinuating to move back down somewhere around about 14 and a quarter, 1430-ish region. Fair enough. I don't really trust the lower term time frames on this one just because it is an altcoin and this one is like, who knows what the fuck this thing is doing, to be honest with you. I mean, you never know with altcoins, I suppose. It's not going to lead the market, right? So whatever Bitcoin does, this thing is essentially going to mirror, I imagine, but not as strong to the upside. So I think I'll just kind of hold off on saying anything more than that. Again, as you know, as easy as it comes for the daily, just above or below the last daily high or low is going to be your continuation points right there. You have a very obvious range and a 1, 2, 3, 4 long day consolidation. Getting a little bit more mature, probably goes for like another day, maybe 2. Sigmantus Milunis, man, you must be, no, you're Danish, but what the fuck? You have a very Greek name. I think at least that sounded Greek to me. Oh well, please check BNB coin for trade. Please check BNB coin for trade. Okay. What the fuck? Sorry, man. I don't know what you want me to look at here, man. I don't know what you want me to look at here, to be honest with you. It's not my favorite chart. It's not the worst chart. It's not the best chart. Again, it's kind of par for the course in this market. I suppose you could use today's daily total low as a bit of a continuation point to the downside, meaning that as long as you're above it, sideways and up is still more or less healthy, I suppose, on this asset. That does imply, though, if we take out today's daily low, which is 384.79, I would be looking for a nice move down somewhere around about 360 to 355 or so, and probably even falls apart under there if that were to happen. But for right now, as long as you don't just take it that area, as long as you just kind of trade sideways and up from here, I suppose it's fine, but definitely not a leader in this market. Let's see, what does a 2-day look like? Not anything impressive. Again, 3-day, not anything impressive. I'm not seeing anything obvious here. Easier to watch Bitcoin, man. Whatever Bitcoin does, this thing's going to mirror. You do have a bit of a 4-hour low below, however. So if you do see any sort of weakness, like lower high below about 420, actually great number right there too. Very easy to remember. That would be your confirmation of an actual downtrend emerging from this one. So for right now, a little bit questionable, but I'd still run with the daily in this case. Zico, hey man, what's up, man? Can you check out EGLD USD on daily, please? Sure. Thank you for also including a time frame as well. That's actually rather helpful. Let's see. Where is it? Binance. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, and you're looking at a daily specifically. This one actually looks pretty damn good. Very obviously bouncing off the 200 simple, has a golden cross routing over here. This one, I don't think you need to wait for it to take the last wick out to the upside in this case. I'd say any sort of a closure on a 4-hour above about 147.5 would do it for me, and I would be looking for this one to retest the highs of this rally and very likely actually run up towards new highs on this rally somewhere around here at around 175, maybe even as much as 180. It is actually one of the better looking altcoins in the short term. This is. And again, when we are kind of looking at the market in its whole, it's good to see that some of the altcoins are actually showing a bit of strength in these areas when Bitcoin's a little bit more under pressure, in my opinion. But again, like if we go over here to CME, it shows a completely different picture. I mean, it's still very obviously an uptrend, so I'm inclined to go with that. Almost pretty much always actually. Anyways, Matthew Lavin says Pokedex, PDEX, okay, daily and weekly. I don't think I've ever looked at this thing. Oh, it's a thing, I guess. It's a thing. It's a thing. All right, nice. Actually, not bad in the short-term time frames. 4-hour, very obviously another higher low right there. Would be looking for this one. It's actually about to print some phantom hidden div right there too. If that does get confirmed, I'd be looking for another move at around like 1650 or so. But what time frame are you looking at here? Daily and weekly, okay, very high term time frames. In this case, actually a pretty damn easy chart as well. As long as you're above yesterday's low, which is 1275, I actually would be looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about 19, maybe in as much as 21 or so over the next few weeks. Not really much to go off on a weekly here. This is I don't have anything to say about that. Healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer right there. Where does your lower term time frame uptrend get destroyed? Basically below today's, is this today's or yesterday's? Yesterday's low, in fact, and would be looking for another move down around $8.50 to $9 if that would have happened. But for right now, fine. Daily momentum also is very obviously bullish here too. I would be favoring the upside. Again, not too much history though. So, but this does kind of support Bitcoin trading sideways from this region and actually having an upside resolution. So fair enough. Hey, not bad there. Goes with my biases. I actually am still somewhat short term sideways and up from this asset. At least short term, a very, very short term, like on the 4-hour up. Yes. James Nayland. Hello, sir. Hi, Krown. Hi, Elsa. What the fuck? Did I just hear? How dare you? There's only one important question here. When bull moon? Actually, we could maybe figure that out. Let's see. Where's those damn moon derps over here? All right. God, I can't believe I'm doing this again. I'm a fucking moon trader from now on. Oh, this one doesn't actually forecast the new ones. Let's do it like this. Whoops, let's maybe get off the hourly. That'll be a good idea. I think we can do it with this one. This one actually will tell you when. No, it won't. I don't know when the bull moon comes around. I think they usually take about 2 weeks to change. So this one, 25th of July to 8th of August. So a little bit less than 2 weeks, I guess. How much was this one? 25th of June. Oh, I'm noticing a trend here to 10th of July. So yeah, about 2 weeks right there. And how long ago did we get this signal right here? 8th of August. So we are, yeah, we're maybe like a few days away from actually getting the next one. If you really want to be looking at that, again, like I have to always curtail that discussion and say, hey, if you're new here, just look at the fucking results, man. It might interest you, it might not interest you. It's definitely not my primary analysis, but it is kind of interesting, man. If not for anything, just to kind of play along with the old witches of the world. Thinking outside the grid. Yeti, daily, weekly, monthly. Okay. Let's see. What is Yeti? You're talking about like the actual stock right here. Nice. Oh no, you're probably talking. God damn, you're probably talking about this bullshit. Okay. Can you let Elsa know if I have the right one here? I'm guessing you're talking about this because it is cryptocurrency and typically people are talking about that. Daily looks like absolute shit. Weekly looks even shittier, and monthly is completely unusable. Hopefully you're talking about the actual stock because that is just garbage, man. Stock actually looks pretty damn toppy too. Yeah, this is pretty toppy right here. Multiple drives have hit it, not hit him, but regular bearish divergence right there. I'd be looking for this one to have a short-term downside move to about 94 and a half. Very likely bounce there and then trade its way down to about 89, 89 and a half, maybe over the next couple weeks there. But looking at it daily, yeah. It is a stock. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Thank God. Thank God. I was hoping it wasn't that monstrosity of a chart. Yeah, short term very likely comes down around here, goes for a bounce, but after that, I'd look for that bounce, put in a lower high on a short term time frame, and then come lower. This one is actually rather toppy. The monthly kind of tells the story on this one. Nice shooting star dildo right there. So it's probably not going to like full on fall over this month. It's very unlikely, but maybe into August or September, October region, I'll start to look for like big moves down to $80 or so. Anyways, Daniel Garcia says, can you please explain max pain is when it comes to options and how to trade around it? It's something that you should completely disregard because it is more or less bogus and garbage and shit that people focus on. Minutia that people focus on that they think sounds smart and that they intuitively think sounds smart, but doesn't really have any good results with actual price action. You have to understand the options market is still relatively small in comparison to what would actually matter. Does options influence price action? Yes. Or maybe price action influences options. Well, who comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, in this case, I mean, price action typically always comes first in my experience. But more importantly, for that, like I am a big options believer, that doesn't even make sense, but I'm a big options trader. Like I put a lot of importance on options, but look, people are trying to make a fucking mountain out of a molehill. And as always, they make a good thing into a goddamn meme. The max pain that you typically are referring to on, whatever options tracking you're looking at is just like, look at the history. Look at the history is what I can say. If the history is good for you, then disregard whatever I'm saying, and you have something very, very cool going on. If the history is not as good for you as I've kind of looked at myself, then you disregard. But basically the idea would be if it actually did fucking work, which it does not, by the way, because here's the problem. Like, let me explain why this is honestly a fool's errand to begin with. When you're talking about options max pain, you don't know. It's literally just looking at all of the options as lottery tickets, as if they're just just singular positions, and that's it. Like this strike traded this much, this strike traded that much, and that's it. And that actually does work pretty fucking well in traditional markets on very like highly traded assets like SPY, for example. I actually did use this quite often on SPY, but on some like Bitcoin and a little bit less used markets where you have where you have more less retailers and you have more professionals kind of looking at something like this who actually use options to begin with, because most people don't even fucking understand them. You don't know the person's other position, so they might for example, the $45,000 call strike might be bid up like a million bajillion, and it's just overshadowing everything else. But you don't know if those people also have, you know, spot underlying positions, futures positions that might be against that, or perhaps they might even have other options positions that are also hedging themselves off. Because realistically, people who actually know what they're doing with options never just buy them straight up. They always are using them to like hedge, or using them in some combination with other options or spot in order to manage their positions. That is the best way to use options in my experience. The other way is just basically using them as fucking lottery tickets, which is garbage silliness that you should probably avoid if you don't like, you know, wasting your money. I always love that statement that, you know, the lottery or gambling, it's like a tax on the stupid. It's so fucking funny here. By the way, in Finland, every fucking convenience store, every fucking supermarket has like gambling machines in the supermarket, and after you check out your food, after you pay for your food, then you go and gamble some bullshit, and it's like everyone fucking does it. You know, you see like your every average day worker, you know, going there after they buy their food. You see like, you know, old grannies who must be in their fucking 80s or 90s doing it as well. You see kids doing it. It's like, it's fucking crazy, man. Like it's so bizarre. So if you're under 15, then it's illegal, but if you're 16, you can do it. Yes. Okay. Okay, great. But hey, gambling's fun, so keep on doing it. Hey, Mr. Goat Sass, welcome to the cave, sir. Thank you for joining in on in, sir. Mark, man, I always get this one wrong. Mark Morco says, hey, Krown, hello, sir. Can you please check out Legends of Crypto? Okay, did well, then had decent sell-off. I'm long-term, but don't want to write it down. All right, let's see. It sounds like it's very highly esteemed, and it probably would never come down and actually do a 90% drawdown, as do most altcoins. Actually, not the worst altcoin chart here. Popping around your May breakdown regions, which is a good sign actually, or at least compared to most things within this market. But we don't really have too much history here, man, so I don't really have much to be going off of right here. Realistically, this thing is probably going to get absolutely hammered on any sort of Bitcoin downside move. To the upside, it gets to participate. It actually ain't too bad on the upside here, but we don't really have any history here to really be going off of all that much. You know, where is your risk on something like this? Below about 17.5 cents. Until then, I suppose this is just another higher low in the making. Can we get anything on like a 4 hour? It's not really helpful here. I'm not really getting much from this, man. I don't really have a good opinion on this chart, to be honest with you. I want to shoot you straight, man. A healthy amount of I don't know is the right answer for this chart. However, typically speaking, when it comes to altcoins, whatever Bitcoin's going to do, it's going to mirror. So if Bitcoin holds it sideways and trades the upside, you know, over the next few days, that would be obviously good for this thing. It probably gets to retest your prior all-time highs in this case. But I mean, it already turned down against you, and it's, I mean, if you are long-term, this shouldn't be too like concerning to you right now, because I mean, you're still in an uptrend right here, so fair enough. I don't really have too much to say about it other than that, man. I know that's not too helpful, but there's only so much you can do when you have like a couple months of history right there. Kevin fucking one, hello sir. Good morning, Krown. Sushi short term, should I just hold it until the trend is broken, only wicked below? I can't tell you what to do with your position. I don't even know your fucking position. I don't know what the hell you're trying to do with your position, and you should definitely know where your goddamn risk is before you ever enter into a motherfucking position. I also don't even know what fucking time frame you're talking about, man. So just be aware of what's going on here. Look, this one's more or less fine. When you see a consolidation like this, right around the 200 simple or a major moving average, just that, you know, that being the 21, the 200, and the 55. You're very likely to break in that direction. And this one, I would be looking for it to retest somewhere around about $14 or so, and then very likely make a leg up towards 16.80, maybe even $17. This is good right here. I don't know if it's necessarily ready today, but you got the golden cross, you got all major movement averages chasing right now as well. You got 4 hour uptrend even. So again, I don't know why you got in this position. I don't know what compelled you. It's not bad if you're long. I don't have any major issues with it as long as you're above about $11.5. That would be my kind of major bias buster right there to the downside. But as long as above there, I looks fine to me. I mean, daily RSI telling the story on this one as well. Just be aware, man. Like if you're gonna trade, Kevin fucking money, and you've been here for a while, so you should know these sort of things. You gotta know where is your invalidation point when you enter a trade like that, because if you keep on doing this over time, like it's gonna end poorly. At least in my experience, man. That's again how I went broke, and you can save yourself a lot of pain by like having these things marked off and knowing exactly what you're going to do before you go into a trade. That really needs to be done. Again, not trying to be your dad, but just hopefully can save a bit of pain right there. Okay, let's see. Jack Aston says, sir, could you please look at Ethereum Bitcoin, short-term and medium and long-term? Yeah, let's check it out. This would actually be a good one to record perhaps as well, or would it? Let's see. Short-term, what do we have? Short-term, a little bit of a breakdown right here. We do have lower lows on the 4-hour. Short-term probably does give another test back up towards like 685,000 Satoshis. But any sort of a lower high below 609 or 6,900,000 Satoshis is going to very likely imply downside moves towards about 6.5 million Satoshis. However, long term, I really haven't changed my mind on this. Sorry, that was more medium term right there. You know, where would this thing need to reclaim for me to be short or medium term bullish on it? Daily above about 6.9 million Satoshis actually, so good right there. Long term though, do I think it's going to be trending like right now this second? No, I don't think so, but probably into September or so. Actually would be looking for this one to make a move. This is still really fucking good on the monthly here, man. I really like that. Really like that. Also really like this as well. I don't really have any reason to be bearish on this one long term by any stretch of the imagination. Long term, I still think this one's going to 1.1. Not 0.11 long term. So take that as you will. But short term, anything resembling a lower high over here, that will be the reversal, and I would be looking for 6.5 million Satoshis and then very likely bounce there. Long term though, still very much unchanged. Omer says, Senor, Cardano BTC, daily, weekly, oi. All right, Cardano BTC. Okay, so we can look at that one, Carderpio. All right, a bit different than the US dollar pairing for obvious reasons, but this one actually having a pretty damn good bounce back right here. Hidden bullish divergence is all but confirmed within the next 1 hour and 50 minutes actually to the dot. 4-hour Jewel has also lost its downside curvature, so I'm actually inclined to say that this one very likely does pop back up to the highs of this rally, 4,700 Satoshis, maybe over the next like day or two. Daily is just, I mean, this looks like the higher low in the making. It hasn't even really had a pullback since this rally started. This is very good. This is very good right here, at least in my opinion. Weekly is very fucking good as well. I'd be looking for this one to retest prior highs on this run, around 5,000 Satoshis, maybe around end of month. And then does this one go on for a run towards this prior time highs? Probably yes. But that's a little bit more further down the road. But one of the better charts, yeah, actually. And as long as you're above this last 4-hour higher low right here, I think completely fine. Below there, yeah, I'd extend targets all the way down to like 3,900 Satoshis. But for right now, good. Definitely one of the more stronger ones. Brizzy B, hello, sir. Definitely Australian. Can we check out Wrapped Ethereum versus CLVA? Okay. This thingy. Okay. Clever. Okay. This is already quite damning. On weekly, I don't think there's a weekly to look at on this thing, man. It's only been around since March. Like, this is not a very helpful chart. Look, I can tell you what you probably already know. It's in an uptrend, yes. This thing is obviously very illiquid and has these massive wicks pretty often. Barely trades. Usually like to avoid these sort of things, but because today's daily is looking like complete poo. I mean, you got 17 hours and 48 minutes left to close this one, so it's a little bit early to analyze this one, I'd say. I don't really have an opinion on this one, man. I don't trust oscillators on this. I don't trust analysis on this. It's general uptrend, but you know, I could say that the higher term timeframes are still not necessarily bearish, but I don't really trust something like this, man. I would be bearish on this one below 5,400 Ethereum or clevers, I guess. Other than that, man, I don't have a good opinion on this, so I think it's best that I just end it right there. Really not much to go off of, unfortunately. Crookface, hey, there we go. Dr. Colleague Krown, there we fucking go, man. Yeah, we're colleagues here. That's exactly right. Could you look at copper on the weekly? Okay. Sorry, you having a good laugh over there or what? Yeah. What medicine school did I go to? That's a good question. Let me get back to you on that one. Copper futures. Let's look at this one right here. Look at AMC. Krown Crypto Cave. For fuck's sake. Sir, it's a fucking piece of dog shit. You're buying a goddamn meme stock. Yes, it's going to trade a little bit up from where it is right now, but holy shit. Don't yell at me, man. I'm just a normal person. Daily, this one actually wants to come down here. I'd be looking for this one to retest around about 413 or so. Probably bounces again. What time frames are we looking at? Weekly. Okay, weekly. I think this one's actually, yeah, I do think this one comes down around about 413 413 and a quarter to 413 and a half. Probably bounces there again, but this one is looking not so great long term, I'd say. Monthly, it's not going to break down this month if it even breaks down at all. I mean, this is actually still a pretty damn good chart. Yeah, this is still a pretty damn good chart. I'd look for a bounce off that level and then come back to it after that. This one moves at a snail's pace, so I don't figure it's going to do anything too interesting here. Now, if it does trade lower than your 21st of July low, which is 408.80, I'd be looking at a move towards about 380, 388 or so. I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen from this exact posture right here, but long term, it's actually pretty damn good. This is not a bad chart. The question is, does it pull back after? Did this one make new all-time highs? Yeah, it did. Does it pull back a little bit and give you a bit of a throwback down to about 375, over the next few months, or does it just continue on from here? I don't know yet. I need to see the next. I think this one just trades sideways at best for a little bit of time and come back to it after that. But the weekly deal is, yeah, if you're doing some long-term stuff, man, do long-term stuff. But on something like that, you need to really be looking at a monthly, in my experience. Weekly is just a range. So, you tested the top side of the range. What are you going to do after that? You're probably going to go test the bottom side of the range. Just hope that it holds. Otherwise, lower before higher, sir. Justin Young, hello, sir. XRP 4-hour daily weekly. And a reminder for the cavers. Oh, shit, man. You remember my birthday. Thanks, man. That's appreciate that, man. My own girlfriend doesn't even do that. It's so awful. Anyways, we can go like at 4-hour. First off, okay, we still got, actually this one probably, did we record this one? Like XRP's actually one of the better altcoin charts right now, funnily enough. Probably not the best sign, but probably not the best sign for the market, but it actually is one of the better altcoin charts. Yeah, weekly's fucking good. All right, should we record an XRP analysis here? All right, let's get the XRP army. All right, one for the good old XRP army here, requested by Mr. Justin Young, and he is looking for a 4-hour daily and weekly. Well, first off, the weekly higher term time frame is looking pretty damn good. We've already kind of retested the prior range highs, and so far so good. Now, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for this one to have a bit of a resolution this week, but very likely next week or end of August. Currently recording this on the 18th of August right now, so probably around next week or maybe last week. I would be looking for a retest of the highs on this rally, actually somewhere around about 160 or so, and very likely new highs on top of that. I'm just curious what the monthly looks like. Still maintaining the uptrend. We still have higher lows right here. We have higher highs above this high right here, so good. Although that will take some time, maybe over the next few months to evolve. Looking at a daily. This one's actually rather okay. I know that this is kind of interesting to say about XRP, to be fair, but you do have a golden cross right here. All major moving averages are with positive slope, and they are all chasing right now too. And it looks like you're going to try to put in a higher low right around the 10 simple. So now we can go into the short-term time frame, see what we got going on over here. 4-hour, putting in another higher low on the 55. That is good. Hidden bullish evidence is going to be confirmed at the end of the next hour, 43 minutes and 49 seconds, with any sort of a closure basically above about 112 or so. And I would be looking at a short-term target back up towards 119.5 to 120, and this one probably trades sideways from there, and then very likely trades to the upside over the next few weeks if that were to happen. Now, if we do actually come back down and close a 4-hour dildo back down and below about 107 or so, then I would be looking for this one to have a pullback first to about 94.5. I'm not necessarily leaning towards that, though. The daily is actually one of the more stronger altcoin charts we've seen today. So for what it's worth, I do want to check out over here what we can see on momentum charts, just see if that is coming in confluence with anything else that we're looking at right now. I guess we go to buy derp for this one. 4-hour Stoke's going to turn up with any sort of a closure above 114. Not bad. Let's see what daily looks like. Daily will turn up above 128. So I don't think this one's like trending today or anything like that. I think it still trades more or less sideways in a short-term time frame range. And weekly is up as long as above about 56 cents. So that is good for the long term. So yeah, actually a rather simple chart in this case. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. And what else do we have right here? Do we have anything on the 4-hour to be aware of as well? No, I think that's about it. I think that's about it. Nice little range between about 110 and about 130 or so. Anyways, hope that was helpful, sir. Nice one. All right, cool. Super googly. The last time we oh here we go. First off, it's like you gotta fucking prepare for it too, getting it right. The last time we saw this bullish signal, we pumped 600%. Hello, sir. Can we have a look at HSI daily and weekly, please? Sure. It's just that right here. Hang Seng Index. So China fell off the fucking wagon over the last couple months there, it looks like. Or is this Chinese? I don't fucking know. Monthly is down, man. I would be looking for this one to test down to about 23,000 over probably before end of year, over the next like 2 to 3 months, very likely. You're looking at a weekly. I think weekly is a little bit less clear in this case, but ultimately bearish as long as you're below about 27,500. And, you know, over the next couple of months, I do believe that target will get hit. The question is, does it actually break down from that target? Probably not. I mean, this has been a pretty damn good buy area since '03, for example, getting this macro low, 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 and perhaps yet again another one over here. Should be known, though, we actually do have our first macro lower high, to be fair. So maybe it actually does fail, but this time could not be different. Now, could it? Let's see. Forward Optimism says XOADA. Is that a ticker, or do you just mean Carderpio? I'm guessing you just mean Carderpio. We've already looked at this one a couple times, actually. So if you do want to scroll back, that's cool. But if you just want me to do a very quick one, because you didn't really give timeframes on this, it's actually one of the better charts in cryptocurrency land. I don't think it's going to break out this week, but probably later this month. Does give another try towards per all-time highs and very likely new all-time highs. Daily looks like a higher low right here, as long as you're above 190. That is the risk, in at least in my opinion. Short-term very likely pops back up somewhere around about 211, maybe even as much as 212. Trade sideways from there, as long as we're running these higher lows above 190. Good, very, very good. Again, another thing kind of making me lean towards the bullish resolution for Bitcoin. And are we around our $46,000 target just yet? Got up there, but not quite. Not quite. What about CME? Working its way. Actually just closed another 4-hour dildo. Did confirm the hidden bullish evidence. Nice. Not bad. Joe Wells, hello, sir. Can you take a look at LTO against the dollar? Okay. All right, not familiar with this one. I don't think I've ever actually looked at this one. Let's see. Let's see how much history you have for one. Actually, quite a fair bit. Not bad. What time frames are you looking at, sir? No time frames given. God damn it, Joe. God fucking damn it. Just look at it. Well, we're looking at it, but sorry. Definitely a laggard in the short term over the last 3-4 months here, which is not a good sign. Like, to the upside, it's not going to participate as much. To the downside, it's probably going to overperform. You know, if you're going to be bullish on this one, you're essentially banking on the fact that this one's going to put in a higher low, basically right here at 27 cents. That implies that if it does fail below there, I would be looking at a first run towards about 23.5, and then very likely a failure below there, all the way down to 18 cents. But for right now, you know, I suppose within the consciousness market, you give it the benefit of the doubt. 4-hour does have a lower low, to be fair. Short term probably does pop back up. Sir, you okay? You okay? Let's give Elsa some injections right now and get her on the old Sustanon. Short term, I would be looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about 30.5 cents. And then again, if Bitcoin starts to take off over here, just at least trade sideways and up, you probably see this thing trade back up towards about 40 cents. And I'm a little bit more leaning towards that. You know, if you do put in a higher low right here on the daily, we'll have another drive of, you actually have 3 drives of hidden bullish evidence, and that will have targets basically back around about 40 cents. But certainly a laggard in this market, certainly not the strongest coin of all time. Not the biggest fan of this, not the biggest fan of that one, but hey, fair enough. Gemini Athlete MMA says, hey, Krown, can you check out BCHG stock on the weekly? Okay. BCHG. Oh, this is, wait, what? Oh, this is Bcash Trust. Oh, wow, okay. Holy fuck! That is awful. Holy shit, man, that's bad. Dear Lord. Oh my God. Okay, that is a monstrosity of a chart. Heavily bearish as long as you're below $14, but Jesus Christ, man, is this thing gonna gun for new lows already from here? This thing can't even get a bounce off of its prior macro low. Very bad. Very bad. I think max this one does to the upside is like $8. If it even does that, it looks very, very bad. If you're looking at the weekly specifically, however, that makes things a little bit easier. Heavily bearish as long as you're below, you know, $12-13. Can trade back up to $8, no problem. But that would be, at least in my opinion, very likely a sell, or at least I would be interested in at the very least playing a scalp there. In this case right here, I'd probably be looking for this one to grind out the lows once again at the very least before this is all said and done. If you start to see closures on new lows, then I'd expect some price discovery on the inverted chart. Yeah, man, not very good, unfortunately. Other than that, man, I don't really have too much to say. This is just a sloppy chart is what it really is. If it does want to bounce, $8 is where I'd be looking towards. That would still just be another lower high and a pretty nasty one at that, to be fair, man. Jordan Chen, hello, sir. Can you please check out Tesla? Yeah, let's look at Tesla's on 4 hour. I think last we looked at it, it was mostly ranging, but short term down. Let's see if it's still doing that. That's pretty much exactly what it's doing. Not bad, man. Not bad. Every once in a while, that TA bullshit works. Bounce off the 200 here on the 4 hour. I'd probably be looking for this one to pop back up and fill the gap at around 680, 682 or so. Oh, and you're just looking out a 4 hour. Now, I do feel inclined to say that, hey, while it probably does bounce around there, keep in mind, I mean, this is essentially a range, and you just kind of sold off at the top side of the range. You probably do come and at the very least and officially test the median of the range and then probably the bottom side over time. While I do like this, or at least I give this one the benefit of the doubt, at least over the long period of time. I mean, it's more or less ranging here, man. It's more or less ranging, but specifically on the 4 hour short term up, yeah. Short term very likely pops back up somewhere around there. 680 or so, and then I'd probably be looking for lower high somewhere between there, maybe even as much as 690 if it really wants to, and then probably another try to the downside of the thing. How deep into this stream are we right now? 1 hour and 24 minutes. Maybe this is a good time to actually shut this one off. This would be a good one. Hodl Crypto says, when comforting wrecked people, try comforting them with a monotone there. Yes, that is very comforting. I feel like all my fears and emotions have been assuaged now. Yes. Okay. You can send me a few. You can send me a few ones. But I do want to make the stream a little bit shorter. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, just send them to me and we'll figure it out from there. Maori says down horrendously. What is that meme from, man? I've been seeing that one more and more recently. I don't know what it's from, but it is kind of funny. Let's see. Brian Price says, could you take a look at Merton Krown? Oh, you bastard! You fucking bastard. Okay, Sinegra says, Krown, mind adding coin to the list? Actually, yes, we should look at coin, and thank you for bringing that up once again. It is on my list. I just always blow past it. All right, let's see what Coinbase is doing over here. Not great, man. If you're playing Coinbase right now, you're basically hoping that Bitcoin essentially leads this one, and that yesterday's spike low is going to be your next higher low in this case, which it would be on the daily. A pretty easy one to play right here, however, I should say. From a major moving average perspective and actually momentum oscillator perspective, this one is bearish, I should say, and I would be leaning towards the downside resolution of about 235 to 240-ish region. However, how would that be playable? If you take out yesterday's low, which is 246 and a quarter, I would be looking for those targets to get met. And momentum oscillators are saying that's a little bit more likely here, to be fair. By the same token, above yesterday's high, I would look for this one to actually pop back up towards 280 and probably even travel higher over time. Short-term timeframes, unhelpful. Hourly, a little bit more bouncy first, so probably does bounce up at the very least to like 257 first. But again, I think yesterday's closure kind of makes this one relatively easy to play, but it is more downside angled than most other things. Jordan Knox says, hey, Krown, hello, sir. Can you please check out SHIB? SHIB, we already looked at Sol like a million times. We can look at SHIB really quickly. Let's see, SHIB token. Let's see, what is this one doing? Again, very, very similar chart to most of the other ones. This one's certainly relatively weak. This is certainly a meme, mostly bullshit type of thing. But hey, if you want to play the memes, I guess they do pump the hardest at the very end of the market after pretty much doing nothing in betwixt there. For right now, you still got 4 hour higher lows to be fair. And this will actually confirm hidden bullish divergence with any sort of a closure above like 829 or so. And that will have targets short term back up to about 865. Give me, okay, 4 hour and daily. I mean, if this confirms a higher low right here, I'd look for a retest of the highs in this rally and probably beyond over time, maybe into September at around 1200 or so. But, you're basically banking on the fact that this one's going to put in a higher low right here. So if it does come back down and take out your current 4 hour higher low with any sort of a closure below 800, all those targets get absolutely washed away, and I'd be looking for a move down somewhere around 700 and probably low over time as well. Definitely a weak chart, not necessarily the best one of all time. Mr. Almasari says, sup, Krown? Hello, sir. I hope all is well. Oh, I think all is well, man. At least I'm not living in fucking North Korea, so relatively, it's going quite well. QNT, USD, daily, weekly. All jokes aside, man, that is a fucking monstrosity of a situation. Also, Afghanistan too, man. Don't live there either. So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see. Daily, weekly. We can certainly find it. I think QDerp can do it. Yeah. Okay. 4 hours actually pretty good here. Very lovely consolidation on the end of basically a macro rally here. Did sell off on your prior all-time high, but that is to be expected. Weekly still fine. Going back down the short-term time frames right here, you know, it probably does trade a little bit lower than where it's at right now. Might even come back down to like 167.5, but this is all higher lows after a bit of a breakout attempt. I don't have any major issues with this. I'd essentially be looking for an upside resolution after some short-term sideways and down. Again, somewhere down around about 167 to 166 region. As long as you don't close any dildos below that, being 166, I actually would be looking for this one to trade sideways and then up from those levels. But very, very short term, very likely does trade a little bit further south from where it is. Long term, good. I don't have any issues with this chart. Long term momentum oscillators, very fucking powerful. 12-hour multiple drives of hidden bullish divergence back into the bullish control zone. BBWP starting to expand, so you got volatility plus trend plus momentum. I mean, that's the trifecta of good shit as far as I'm concerned. You got pretty much a not a similar setup on a daily, but in this case, because it is a little bit younger, 12-hour will get the job done. I think that's going to be a good place to leave this one off. We've already have we spoken about Ethereum? I don't think we did speak about Ethereum. You know, we can get onto Ethereum really quickly here, and then we'll close this one off. Short-term timeframes on Ethereum. You know, this one does have a low right here, so kind of the same thing as Bitcoin. You got to be on lower, or at least I would be on lower high watch. Any weakness below 3250 on even a, could we do this on a 2-hour? Could probably do it on a 2-hour, would look better on a 4-hour. Although short term, it very likely does pop back up somewhere around about 3150 to 3175. Will just be another lower high. So I do need to see this one, or at least I'd like to see this one if the blue eyes are going to pull through here, close some 4-hour dildos back above about 3250 or so, and then I'd look for the daily to trade sideways for a couple days, and then very likely up with targets up to be like 3,500 or so. Weekly still good. I don't have any major issues with this. Just kind of a backfill in last week open. 5-day closing today, not great actually. Daily, you know, you're basically banking on this, you know, putting another higher low right here. If this area does fail, which is essentially your test of the 21 in this case, which was our breakdown target from yesterday, so this was a bit front run right there, so fair enough. I mean, that obviously can happen. If that does break, it's not going to bounce, or it's very unlikely to bounce there again. I'd be looking for a big meltdown, do about 2650 to 2700 or so. But for right now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. You know, again, I'm mostly running off of CME right here, which is showing a pretty different picture, especially on the short-term time frames than Bitcoin spot. And you know how Bitcoin and Ethereum typically trade together with each other, so. Mert us with the Krown cannon, please. You're not a monkey. Wait, what? Mert us? Wait, what? What's going on here, man? All right, Cole, Bashor. All right, last one. Luna going up forever. Daily chart, please. All right, we'll go check out Luna for the last of the last right here. The last of the Mohicans right now. Is it going up for forever? I mean, it's not going up today right now. I don't think it's going to make new all-time highs today, if that's what you're asking. Weekly still good. I would be looking for this one to probably make new all-time highs maybe later this month, if that's your question. 4-hour, a little bit short-term top. Yeah, I'm sure that we got some sort of bearish divergence here. Actually, we don't. That's interesting. I'd probably be looking at another swipe towards $22.5, but this one's long-term fine as long as you're above 19. I know you didn't ask about the 4-hour, but that's probably the best I can do for you. Daily's continuation. Actually, daily probably does make new all-time highs today. Hey, what the fuck was that time frame I was looking at earlier? What was that? Was it 5-day? Any sort of a close here or higher by end of day, I'd be looking for new all-time highs early next week or maybe even later this week. This is still good, man. This one's like freshly breaking out now too. Any sort of 5-day closure above $22 today. This one's gonna have some pretty nice targets. Did sell off the one spot 414 down to the actually now resting at the 1272 side is good. Long term, this one really wants to get going. 60 to $80. Jesus Christ, man. Luna. What the fuck does Luna do? Doesn't matter. It's bullish. It's one of the better charts we've seen today. Just short term, just be aware of where your risk is on this one. Below this level right here, 21 and 34 is where it starts to look for that first pullback down to $19. But again, $19 is just another drive at the 55. I mean, that's not problematic in my experience. At least on first pass, I would be looking for a bounce there. But daily's obviously bullish. What do we have right here? We'll be creating some bearish evidence at some point, but not yet. Not yet. You see expanding BBWP. What about 12-hour? So 12-hour I was looking at earlier. I still like this chart. The question is, does it pull back a little bit first, or does it just gun for new all-time highs from here? I would feel quite confident to say that it very likely does get new all-time highs before end of month or maybe early September. But other than that, short term, which you didn't really ask for, I'm a little bit less confident on. So I'll just kind of shoot you straight right there. As far as Bitcoin goes, again, I did miss this yesterday, and that is my bad. I am imperfect, of course, but looking at the 4-hour, we do still have higher lows going on right here. As long as Bitcoin's closing above 44,600 or so, short-term timeframes, again, hidden bullish evidence right here. Plus, momentum oscillators would like to see actually these start to turn up at the same time. If that does happen with any sort of a closure above 46, I would actually drive targets a little bit higher towards 40, probably more like 47,000. And that's the real test. Can Bitcoin close above that last little rejection right there? If it can, I would look at this still as a more or less healthy consolidation with very likely an upside resolution. Probably not today, but maybe early next week. But for right now, we are in a bit of a decision phase right here. And if Bitcoin does start to put in a lower high below that last 4-hour lower high, which is $47,000, then I would be looking for the downside targets to get hit first before anything else. And that would be down around about 42, maybe somewhere around $42,000 where I'd pretty much be looking for. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again for joining on in. Thank you for the feedback on everything as well. It really does help. And I do want to say a sincere thank you. I can't even speak right. But yeah, been some fun times. Hopefully this was in some way helpful, and I will be back on very likely tomorrow. So with that said, I salute you. Take care, and until next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, lend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, find it, drop it, crack it, lose it, curse it, pay it, to it, pay it, bar it, chart it, hide it, fight it, deal it, seal it, and unlock it, back it, send it, change it, lend it, mine it, find it, how it, test it, praise it, curse it, trash it, hash it, roll it, troll it, and upgrade it, take it, take it, lend it, send it, swell it, sell it, click, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, write it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it,